Okay, so I just heard about this today that the It remake is apparently cancelled. Um, Now the thing is, it is apparently cancelled. Cary Fukanaga, I believe that's how his name is pronounced. He left the project due to some problems with budget or something like that. We don't know the full story yet, but I don't know. This just got me thinking. I really wanted to see what a new version of it would be like, um, because the original, the original miniseries, the first time I saw the miniseries, I thought it was pretty cool, um, but then I read the book, and here's the thing, um, if you watch my Game of Thrones videos, you know that I'm not a book purist, and that is the case. I tend with adaptations. I tend to see them as like this is this thing and this is this thing. Um, but in the case of it, when I read the book, I kind of thought about the movie more, and not only is it not really that great of a movie, um, like just some scenes in general, not even just the scary stuff, is just I don't know, just not done very well. Um, I may do a review of it at some stage just to go more in depth into it. But like the big thing with it is that the story of it is about this creature that's able to turn into anything, um, anything at all. And the problem with the original miniseries is that they didn't expand on that idea. Like people remember the movie It as the movie with the clown in it, and they always remember Pennywise. I mean, of course, that is an important part even in the books, because I mean that is quite a common form that it takes. Um, but the thing is, like the miniseries, it's not like it does have this idea in it. So I don't see why they need to just sort of forget about that idea. I mean, I still think Tim Curry does a great job in the movie, of course. And I'm curious to see who could do, I don't know, maybe a better job or just as good job as he did. But still, there's so much cool stuff that they could do that's in the book. Because Stephen King's It happens to be over 1,000 pages long. Um, so to really do it justice would be more than just a 3 hours and 10 minutes. I think that's how long the mini series is. But even with even with that, I mean it kind of goes its own direction in it, its own sort of thing. They do some things quite different. They have very different tones. The book and the miniseries. The miniseries, although kind of creepy, it's never exactly dark. I mean, I suppose the darkest it ever gets is the scene with Georgie and Pennywise. But other scenes like defeating it for both times, actually, they just come across as I don't know, just like something from I don't know, just like a PG movie, and it just doesn't really feel right. I don't know. Just at least just after reading the book, that's how I feel about it. Um, but then again, I mean, you do still have that really dark scene with Georgie and Pennywise, and even still, that scene in the book is darker still because you get to see what actually happens to him. It's not quite good enough just to say like 20 or so minutes later, maybe even longer, oh yeah, his arm just got pulled off and just, I mean, it's not really quite effective. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it was made for TV back in the 90s, and back then, of course, I mean, it would have been hard to put strong violence on the television. At least that's what I've heard. But of course, when you put that in comparison to today's TV shows with the likes of Game of Thrones or Walking Dead, etc., I mean, you practically can do anything on TV these days, as far as I've seen at least. Um, but yeah, I mean, I'd be interested actually to see if just a mini series, but more kind of like sort of like the thing that say I don't know American Horror Story does. Um, that it could do just a one season of just one story, and they could do that for it. I think that would be a really good idea actually, because it is a really long book, and there is a lot that they could cover in that. Um, the way the way I think it would be a good way to cover it is that something that the book does is there are these dairy interlude things where it goes back to various points in the history of dairy where the creature of it appeared, um, and Mike is looking over the history. And I think it might be good if just every couple of episodes that might be like an opening, and then sort of like a pre-title sequence thing, and then yeah, and so on. I don't know. That's just one idea I'd have for if there was another It adaptation made. Um, I think a movie series could be made as well. The plan for this one, the one directed by Cary Fukanaga, was going to be 2 movies. Which I don't know. I don't really know what their script was like, so I don't know if it could have worked. Like even still, the idea I have of making it of like a proper thing of lots of episodes, maybe that mightn't be so great. Because that could drag out a bit. Maybe, I don't know. I think for something like that to work, you'd need to have at least one really scary scene in each episode, and to really keep the idea that it's a horror series, or horror mini series. I'm not really sure what you'd call it if it's just a one-off thing. Yeah, that's. I mean, I guess that's my whole thoughts on that. There was that guy who was going to be Pennywise actually. I don't remember his name actually. Just thinking about it now, but I don't really get what was so great about him. Really, no, honestly though, I only really saw him in Chronicles of Narnia, and I guess he was okay in that. But he was very young in that, so I don't know. I really can't say anything about that. But Cary Fukanaga, on the other hand, he is a good director. From what I've seen in True Detective, he did a good job there. Those have a good feel to them, and actually, from the feel that those episodes do have, I think that would be a good sort of tone to the remake that they were trying to make. So yeah, that's all I have to say for now. There's more I could expand on in terms of the whole ideas for what a remake or version of an adaptation of it could be like, but I might go into that if I ever make a review of the miniseries. I might talk more a little bit about that in that, but maybe not. I might just stick to the movie itself, sort of see it as its own thing. Yeah, maybe that's something I will do someday. Sometime this year. I don't know. That's somewhat vague. But yeah, I'd say so. Sometime soon enough, I'll give a go at reviewing the mini series. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Thanks again for watching, and if you have any thoughts on this news, thoughts on the book, whatever, then please let me know in the comments. And yeah, bye.